of the rising sun. There is a house in you.
Lucius 3 is one of those games that had all the right ideas, but never really managed to put everything together. For a lot of fans, this was supposed to be the comeback. After the mixed reception of Lucius 2, Shiver Games promised a return to what made the original games so unique. Bigger sandbox levels, more freedom, creative kills, and that creepy horror atmosphere that made the first game memorable. On paper, it sounded perfect. But when Lucius 3 finally launched, players quickly discovered that the game had a lot of problems. Bugs were everywhere. NPCs could get stuck walking into walls, missions sometimes refused to progress, physics would randomly break, and every now and then you had to reload a save because the game simply stopped working the way it was supposed to. Then there was the AI. In a stealth game, you expect enemies to react in believable ways. Instead, guards might spot you through something they shouldn't, or completely ignore you while you were doing something incredibly suspicious. It made the gameplay feel inconsistent and sometimes frustrating. Performance wasn't much better either. Even players with decent PCs reported stuttering, frame drops, and long loading times. While patches fixed some issues after release, the game never completely escaped its rough launch. The strange thing is that underneath all those problems, there's actually a pretty interesting game. The larger environments encourage exploration, and setting up supernatural accidents can still be really satisfying when everything works. Those moments remind you why the Lucius series gained a following in the first place. So, what happened? Well, Shiver Games was a very small independent studio trying to build a much bigger game than anything they had made before. They were working with limited resources, limited funding, and a fan base that expected a huge improvement after Lucius 2. That's a difficult position for any developer. As development continued, it became clear that the game's ambition was starting to outgrow the studio. Features needed more polish, optimization wasn't finished, and many bugs remained by the time the game released. It feels like Lucius 3 simply needed several more months, maybe even longer, before it was ready. After the launch, Shiver Games released updates that improved parts of the experience, but they eventually became much quieter. News about future projects slowed down, and the studio mostly disappeared from the spotlight. As of today, the company still exists, but there hasn't been another major Lucius game, leaving the future of the series uncertain. And honestly, that's kind of a shame. Lucius has always been a unique horror series. There really aren't many games where you play as the son of the devil, using supernatural powers to create deadly accidents while trying not to get caught. It's a concept that still stands out today. Lucius 3 gets closer to that original vision than Lucius 2 ever did. But bugs, technical problems, inconsistent AI, and an obviously difficult development cycle stopped it from becoming the sequel fans had been hoping for. In the end, Lucius 3 isn't a terrible game. It's an ambitious one. You can see what Shiver Games wanted to create, and every so often you get a glimpse of that great game hiding underneath all the technical issues. But that's really the story of Lucius 3. Not a disaster, and not a masterpiece either. Just a game full of potential that, never quite reached it.